Show me something. Hello and welcome back to the Show Me Something podcast. My name is Will.
I'm Trevor.
And I'm Jacob.
And today I showed the boys the 2006 album Donuts by J Dilla. Hip-hop producer, lauded hip-hop producer. And this is one of his instrumental albums from 16 years ago. So excited to chat about that. But before we do, what's up, boys? Any housekeeping? How's life?
Life's good. I'm drinking Mass Landing Brewing all the way up. Oh,
Mass Landing is good. I like
Nice.
them.
I think you might have brought this to my house, Will.
It's possible. Yeah, I like their stuff.
I don't know. It's good. I'm drinking it out of my sick Gurren Lagann mug that Will gave me.
Will and Marissa.
Will and Marissa, I'm so
To
sorry,
be honest,
Marissa.
Marissa chose it, so she should get most of the prize.
Not Will. Only Marissa gave it to me.
That's a fact. I am drinking a Miller Lite out of a Coors Light glass.
Sacrilege.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Damn, that was a harsh
that's
noise.
so loud on the fucking recording.
I'll bring it down. I'll bring it down.
Yeah, I dropped my coaster. I'm drinking it's called, I think, Disco Nachos or something like that, from Hoof Hearted Brewing, out of a Tierra Mar Brewing IPA mug that my sister stole from the brewery, and I subsequently took from
Stole
her.
from her.
Nice.
No, I didn't. I actually think I paid for it, to be honest, because it's a really nice mug.
You paid her for a stolen glass?
Yeah, because it's like it was.
What?
I don't need an explanation.
That's
but
honorable.
It was like it was like the thing she took before she left Washington and moved away, and so it had like sentimental value for her. But also, I was like, this is a very nice glass and I need it. So I was like, how about I think I bought her like a beer or two in exchange for it. So
Oh, nice.
I'm a nice guy.
That's pretty good. You're a nice guy, dude. You should have just stolen it from her. You should have jacked it from her.
Nah, I can't do that.
Sneak in through the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely not. That's not my move. I'm
Wearing
not
the
an
cum
agile
shirt.
person.
The cum shirt.
Yeah. What's anything else new besides the beers we're drinking?
Not really.
I finished watching. I'm caught up
I
on
guess-
Marvel. I just haven't seen the new Spider-Man because you can't rent it on Amazon yet.
You just buy it.
It's $20 to buy though. You know,
I bought it.
I'd rather rent it for a $3.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which Spider-Man is it?
The new one.
Far From Home.
The new one.
That
Far
one.
No
From
Way Home.
Something.
No Way Home.
No Way
I
Home.
think it's No Way Home.
Yeah.
I just watched that recently.
Yeah. So I watched Hawkeye since we last talked. Hawkeye was great. In terms of shows for Marvel, it goes
Easy number 2.
It is the number 2 for me, actually. Yeah, it goes WandaVision, Hawkeye, Loki, and then way dog-ass tier bottom is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then What If is somewhere in between those last two, further down towards the bottom. It was all right. It wasn't a lot of it was just boring, and I just didn't care a lot of the time. But there is like a nice like payoff at the end. You know, there's some cool stuff they do.
Is it animated?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all animated.
It's good. I enjoyed it personally, but
Yeah, it was okay. And I watched The Lighthouse. Crazy fucking movie.
That's
did.
on my list.
Crazy
I know
fucking
everything
movie.
about it. Yeah, I want to watch it. I've heard it's really great.
Yeah, I loved it. Abby was too weirded out by it.
Yeah. I showed Riz the trailer and she was like, "You're kidding."
Yeah, she
but
still
I'll
liked
definitely
it,
watch it.
but I definitely liked it more than her.
Yeah, I'll watch it sometime soon. What about you, Trev? Watch anything good?
I've finished a couple of animes.
Anything
Realist
noteworthy?
Heroes. Huh?
Anything noteworthy? Sorry, I interrupted you. Realist Heroes.
Realist Hero Season 2 was coming out. That was not bad. And I forget what the full title is, but something about Prince's Guide to Rebuilding the Kingdom. They're both like fantasy shows, but it's more about like city planning and policy and lawmaking and like trying to bring your kingdom up from like food crises and economic problems and stuff like that. And that was
Nice.
they were both
So it's
pretty
like-
good.
It's like Civ 5, it sounds like.
So,
That's hype.
and I played my first real game of Civ. Well, we're in the
Not
process
finished.
of playing.
We're still so early on. Trevor's turns right now are taking an eternity because he's learning. So for me, I'm doing my turns within seconds, and then I'm just like watching because he's streaming it, so I could help him with stuff. I'm just like watching him play. He's basically Twitch streaming for me.
I've become a
move,
Twitch
though.
streamer.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Go ahead, yeah.
It's a good game. Civ 5's a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be there soon.
Unsurprisingly.
Yeah. I'm almost at 400 hours of it soon.
That's pretty good.
God.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm waiting for a sale, but I'm gonna dive in on that train too sometime, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
I also
Go ahead, Trev.
I finished the first Arkham Knight game, or the first Arkham
Nice.
game, Arkham Asylum, and then instead of playing the next one, I started replaying Doom 2016 because
Nice.
Jacob was talking about
A
it.
game Jacob famously hates.
No, Doom
Yeah.
2016 is okay. I didn't like Doom Eternal.
Oh right, the sequel. Okay.
I'm gonna play through all of 2016 and then all of Eternal again because I love those games.
Yeah, I stopped
Played either
playing.
one.
I'm not gonna
Haven't
play
played either one. Too scary.
Yeah, I think that's it for me. Just a bunch
Cool.
of like some other random anime I've started. Nothing like crazy, and don't think I've watched any movies in a while.
I do actually have a couple more things. I started Moon Knight.
I haven't seen
I
it
wa-
yet.
I need to
watched
start
the
Moon
first
Knight.
episode, and then Atlanta season 3 is on, so I've been watching that. Me and Will have been talking a little bit about it.
Yeah.
It's great so far.
It's phenomenal.
We'll probably show you season 1 at some point, Trevor.
Yeah. Yeah,
Go
it's been
for it.
so good. A great return. Happy to have it back.
Yeah.
I need to watch Moon Knight. That's on my list this week. I watched a handful of movies last week. I finally finished the Fast and the Furious franchise. So I watched...
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I finished Fate of the Furious and then Fast 9. Fate of the Furious was truly, absolutely horrendous. Like, so dumb it was no longer fun.
Oh,
They brought a new director in, which is odd because it's F. Gary Gray, who's a pretty well-known guy. I think he made... I'm not going to guess off the top of my head. He has like a classic 90s film. But first the franchise, and it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. But
Dang, that
Fast
sucks.
9, return to form. Very good.
Nice.
Very insane. Like, they just keep heightening. Like, Fast 8, they kind of just stopped doing what made it so enjoyable. Like, obviously, they're all so stupid. But this one was, like, very stupid and also not fun. Fast 9 goes back to the basics and continues with its just... It's, like, hard to believe what they do. In a good way. So
I need to watch those movies.
Yeah.
I really need to watch
I haven't
them.
seen...
You do and you don't. I mean, I would feel weird recommending them, like, genuinely.
Do you
I
feel like that's
honestly
a...
watched-
Did you watch the Buddy Cop one too? Hobbs and Shaw?
Fuck no, fuck that. I'm not.
That's part of the franchise, so...
Yeah, I'm
It is.
not canon. Not canon. Oh, it is canon, but
I was gonna say, isn't it? Ken?
no, it is. I don't know if I want to do that to myself. I've heard that's the worst one after Fast
Oh,
8.
really?
So if Fast
Oh.
8 it was as bad as I thought it was, I doubt I'll enjoy that. I think I'm gonna do Mission Impossible now, front to back, with the potential of bringing it to the show in some form. And I'm also just due for a rewatch of them because they're great.
I mean, I've only seen 2 of them. I've only seen Mission Impossible 3 and then Ghost Protocol.
Okay.
I don't know if I've seen any of them front to back. I've seen like bits of some of them, but I don't think I've seen any of them like just sit
Good to
down
know.
and watch.
Yeah,
So-
I'll be bringing one of the newer ones if I do, but that's good to know what my options are. I also watched Breathless, the film from Jean-Luc Godard. It's like a famous French New Wave movie from the 50s or 60s. It's hard to watch stuff like that.
How was it?
now,
Was
I
it
think.
French?
It was so French.
Fucking French movies, man. They're
It's just
so-
like I get why it's regarded the way it is, but I found it to be pretty boring, and I hated the main character. And then we watched Encanto,
Nice.
and then
Damn,
I
I
watched
need to see that still.
Spice World, the Spice Girls movie,
Oh,
Wow.
which was I hadn't seen it since I saw it in theaters as a child. I was a huge Spice Girls fan as a boy.
That's badass.
My mom took me and my best friend Adam to see that movie in theaters in California when I was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 maybe. Banger movie. I mean, it's not a banger, but it's fun.
Is it just a concert movie?
No, it's a story movie.
Oh, nice.
It's crazy. It's really funny. It's just and there's like tons of like British celebrity cameos
Cheetah
and stuff
Girls.
like that.
Yeah.
I know what that is, but I don't know what the movie is like, so I can't speak to that.
I know. I'm sure I've seen all the Cheetah Girls movies back in the day, man.
Respect. I feel like that makes sense generationally, or age-wise, I guess, more accurately, just because the Spice Girls were kind of my era, being the boomer millennial that I am.
And the Cheetah Girls were ours.
Yeah, that's true though, isn't it? Am
It's
I
not even a
wildly
real
off base?
band.
They're not. It's just all fake. It's
How? But I mean, fucking all bands.
It's funny though.
but like everything about it. Like,
They didn't put music out.
There's like
unless it was-
there's music associated with like the movie, right?
Yeah, so
I
they
think
put
that
out singles and stuff. It was like this is the soundtrack for the movie,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah,
Because it's like like Raven Simone and a bunch of those other Disney
even
stars
tell.
she's the
around
only
that
one I
time.
know.
Couldn't even.
She's the
Yeah.
only one I know.
Couldn't even tell you who the rest of them were. It was just
Um,
Raven was the only one I remembered.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I had going. I don't really have much more going on.
Okay, cool.
Me
So
either.
we can jump into reviews. I'm gonna hold off on my kind of like little about section of the album until after I hear what y'all think, because I'll explain my reasoning after. But like I mentioned up top, 2006 instrumental hip hop album. Yeah, what'd you guys think?
I wasn't a huge fan. I'm not gonna front.
Yeah,
I didn't dislike any of the tracks. I was not like at any point like I don't want to listen. Well, at no point I was like, wow, this is bad. I was like, oh, these are beats. This is just a whole bunch of beats, one right after the other. Like it feels like any like congruency the tracks had to one another was more in their titles than the actual song itself. If that makes sense. Maybe they all sampled from. It seems like a lot of them sampled from a similar era, I guess.
yeah.
But like, yeah, it's not something I ever want to sit down and listen to. Like the last listen I did, I was like, I've got 45 minutes of just beats to listen to.
When was your last listen?
20 minutes ago.
So like after we stopped playing Civ, you were like, better. Play
I watched some YouTube and ate my dinner, and then got a cup of tea and went through track by track to get my, I guess, favorites. If we were gonna do that,
Yeah, of course.
how
How many times did you listen?
Yeah.
Without interruption, 3 times. With interruption, that puts it up to like 4 or 5, maybe. I think I got like part the way through.
That's pretty good.
And then
I'm
I
proud
had
of
a
you.
good chunk of time, and then started it over. Didn't pick it up where I left off. So
Yeah.
like a half probably listen somewhere in there.
Sure.
Yeah, it's fine. I give it a 5 out of 10.
Ooh, is that the lowest Trevor so far?
Quite possibly. I don't want to ever listen to this again. And
I
none
think
of the
it
tracks
is.
on here I've ever
Maybe.
none of them feel like real like complete songs, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Because it's just
Yeah.
the instrumental.
Not even that, because there's been instrumentals on some of the other albums you guys have brought that I'm like, yeah, I think that was like my favorite track on the whole album.
You like
Yeah.
it with stuff.
It's just they all feel like there should be more going on to them. They feel like they're the basis of a bigger song, basically.
That's crazy. Okay.
I know. And then the
No,
video
no.
you showed, I guess, to throw that in there, I did find it
Yeah.
fascinating, like how they showed the sampling
Very
kind of
cool.
thing.
Yeah.
I assume the video will be linked
Yeah, I can like
in
it.
the description or
Yeah.
something.
Just for reference,
Yeah.
I asked them to watch. There's a video on YouTube about the song "Don't Cry." I think it's by Tracklib is the account that posted it, but they do like a series of videos that show like how a beat was created or like what it was originally sampling and how they went about sampling it. And so they show like the chops of this particular song that Dilla sampled for this beat, and then how
Yeah.
he kind of layered them together to make the beat. But
That's that's where I'm sitting with this one. It might be my lowest. I didn't hate it. I just was like,
yeah. I came in expecting
that last listen was a chore. Like,
Yeah, that's fair. I came in expecting both of you not to like it, so we're a par for the course. But
Okay, good.
Thanks for listening, Trev. I appreciate you.
Of course, man. Now you listen to this. You have a lot of shit that I bring that you hate. So
Yeah. Cool. What about you, Cub?
Yeah, I enjoyed the album. I thought it was solid. I liked the beats. I think this album for me really excels while I'm doing something else. So like, if I was listening to this in college, it would have been great study music.
Yeah.
Now for me, I was just listening to it like a lot in the morning, like when I'm playing a game or something like that. Because like I've been playing Civ, like we were talking about earlier, and I don't play that with any sound on. It's just completely sound off. So I always will listen to music or watch a stream or whatever. So I was just listening to this, and it was great because I was just you could just vibe to it and just don't have to pay attention to anything else. I mean, literally, my mind goes blank when I play Civ. So,
Fucking
blank. So
That's
it was
good.
so it was great. And then.
Cool.
When we were just making dinner, it was the last time I listened to it, and Abby hadn't listened to it yet either, but I put it on the TV so we could listen to it while we were cooking. And it was great for that too. She liked it too. She liked the beats, at least most of them. Some of the couple of them towards the end started to scare her a little bit for some reason. It had
There's
like
a couple.
It was just like the staticky record scratching noise. She was like, "What is that noise?" She thought it was like.
Yeah.
She thought because then Pip was like looking under something too. She was like, "What the fuck is that?" And I was like, "It's just a song." But yeah, I think for me, my least favorite listen was while I was trying to take notes on it. I was like, man, this is not meant for this. I was like, I was like trying to take notes on every song, and I was like, I'm killing myself. I'm making myself dislike the album more for no reason, just to take notes on it.
Yeah.
That's probably why my rating was so low, is because my last listen was my note-taking listen.
Yeah,
so it was
I only did one note-taking listen. The rest of them was literally just listening to it and just like glancing over every now and again, seeing what I was like, what track I was on or whatever, but like not really paying attention that much. And I think for me, I enjoyed it a lot more that way. But yeah, I would listen to it again in the same type of scenarios when I'm just not really paying attention. 7 out of 10. I liked it. I didn't have any parts where I really disliked anything. Really solid beats all the way through.
Yeah, cool. That works for me. Yeah, so I'll do my best to keep a lot of my like personal feelings tied in with this album to this section, because I kind of alluded to expecting both of you not to like it that much, because it is obviously unlike for sure anything Trevor's ever heard, and I think it's probably pretty far out from what Jacob's heard too, even though he has listened to a lot of rap music.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you listen to like straight up instrumental music or producer albums. So
yeah, I don't.
It's
usually.
also it's a weird album. There's a lot going on. It's funny to hear Trevor say that like they feel incomplete and that there's not much going on, because like to me they're so incredibly sonically layered and dense. But the kind of
I'm a simple man.
No. I don't. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just
No, it's true though. So
but like
fine.
I sort of brought this as not like a thought experiment, but like I was just curious to hear what two people who don't know who J Dilla is, had never heard his music, knowingly before, would think about this absolute magnificent piece of music, opus level work of a person who is regarded as like the most influential hip hop producer maybe of all time. He
Oh no.
No, it's not. Oh no, it's really not, because this isn't your area. This is not what you enjoy. This is my shit, which is the point of the podcast. Yeah. So I'll do a little bit about the kind of the mythology of the album, because at this point it's kind of reached that status. But Dilla is from Detroit originally. He's been around making music since the 90s. He originally worked as like a producer for other people. He fell in with A Tribe Called Quest, made like a lot of music for their latter catalog, which is mostly kind of derided by hardcore fans, but like is very, very sonically influential. He then worked with like Common and D'Angelo and The Roots, Erykah Badu. He was part of a movement called the Soulquarians in like the early 2000s. He is there's like a kind of a a term or an idiom, at least in rap, about like your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, like the guy who every other rapper looks up to. He is like your favorite producer's favorite producer. Like Kanye lists him as the best producer of all time. Dr. Dre, like Q-Tip, like all these incredible people are like, this dude changed the face of hip hop from kind of behind the scenes. So this album came out February 7th, 2006, and he died February 10th, 2006.
Oh, damn.
So it came out on his 32nd birthday, and he died 3 days later.
Holy shit.
He had been struggling with lupus and TTP for the last few years of his life. So he was like, he was terminally ill. And the mythology that I kind of reference is that a lot of misreporting, and obviously this was like kind of early days of social media being an ever present in all of our lives, but like a lot of people have talked about this album as if it was literally made on his deathbed. So it's like an album about death and what it is to die, and like tackling the concept of death and grief and moving on. It's come out in later years that wasn't quite the truth. Like a lot of these beats were made beforehand, but he was making them while he was terminally ill and his condition was worsening. He did spend a lot of time in the hospital in his later years, and he would have a sampler and a stack of vinyl records making music while he was sick. And it's said that he like finished this album while he was in the hospital. So what that like, entails editing, putting final touches on, stuff like that. So this album is about someone dying. It's like, I cried listening to it earlier. It's a thing that, makes me emotional pretty often. And I think you dig into the songs that he's sampling, or the kind of turns of vocal phrase that he's manipulating to sound like something that they're not saying throughout the album. There's a lot of stuff about death and the cyclical nature of life. I don't know if either of you noticed, but the album ends where it starts. Like if you play the album on repeat, it just starts right over. Hence Donut, Circle, etc. He was 32 when this album came out. There 31 tracks, so he had lived 31 years at the time when he made the album. There's lots of crazy shit like that kind of all over the place on this album. We can dig a bit more into kind of the specifics there of a little few things that I pulled out, but I didn't know much about him consciously before he passed, but when he passed, I was a freshman in high school who I've mentioned before was a part of this like ridiculously like cultish Facebook group about hip hop. I got all my music from there. I saw that he died, and people I respected their opinion of and liked talking about music with were posting about him, so I went and listened to his stuff. And obviously hearing this album in the wake of his death is something else. I've been listening to it for 16 years. I listened to it the entire day today on repeat. That happens pretty often, not even just when I'm trying to talk about it for, an hour with people. This is like I'm sure you can tell by this point, a Mad Villainy, Helplessness Blues, College Dropout type album for me. I think it's unbelievable. It's like a 20 out of 10, it's just that good. It's probably,
wow.
I was thinking about it today, and I think it's probably the album I've listened to the most in my life.
Wow. Not
counting albums that I fall asleep to, when I was doing that. But I obviously am a sucker for instrumental music in general, so it's the kind of thing that I can just have on all the time. But I also just think he was an absolute master of what he did, and this album is kind of just like otherworldly, honestly. So I'll try to leave all my baggage there. It's a fucking amazing album. Definitely check it out. Mileage may vary, clearly, but hopefully some of the stuff that we talk about moving forward here can maybe entice you to revisit it, Trevor, or for those listening to give it a shot. But yeah, it's really fucking good, and it's a good time. So
nice.
Let's jump into quote unquote favorite tracks. Trev, what are you thinking?
So I guess my top one is Lightworks.
Mm-hmm.
I dug the vibe of it. I dug the old school commercial aspect of it. It kind of gave me like a little bit of a Fallout vibe at first.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It transitions away from that a little bit later on in the song, but
Yeah.
I liked it. It was cool. I don't have much more to say about it other than that.
Sure.
The factory gets
Whoa.
super weird.
Really?
I like it. I like how weird it
That's
gets.
so
It's like
funny.
industrial.
That's like one
Yeah.
of the most unlistenable songs for me on the album, despite the fact that I think it's great. But yeah,
Crazy.
it's
That's
really
how
wild.
different our music tastes are, I guess. Yeah, I really like the factory. It's super weird, but it was kind of a nice breakup from the rest of it, which a lot of them sounded very samey to me, which I'm sure you're going to be like, that's crazy that you think that.
It is crazy, but I get it.
But a lot of them feel samey to me.
Sure.
And then according to my very strange rating system that we talked about last time, I put Gobstopper as my third favorite.
Yeah, Gobstopper's a jam.
Gobstopper, I didn't make any notes on it. There's a lot of songs on here.
Yeah.
Because as I was going through this last listen, I would put a number, like the track number, and then write the song, put a dash next to it, right at the top of the song, so I would be ready to write notes about it.
Yeah.
And about half, if not slightly more, have no notes after them. Because I had nothing to say. I'm just like, this is a thing. This is something and I feel bad about that because I try my best.
No, you shouldn't.
But there's some of them are so short. There's like nothing to say. I feel like I don't have anything to say about them because it's just like nothing happened. Like not nothing happened, but like I didn't have enough time to formulate a thought about it. It was just like the first track. It's like 20 seconds long, I think.
It's an intro.
I mean,
It's 13
it only
seconds long.
has like 9,000 views on it. Everybody skips it apparently.
Yeah, which is crazy.
How could you skip a track?
Yeah, it's a banger.
Also, I love the intro is called Outro.
Yeah.
And then the
outro's
last
called
song is
Intro.
Welcome to the Show. Yeah.
On most versions of the album, it's actually called Donuts Intro, the last song. And so it ends with Donuts Intro and starts with Donuts Outro. I don't know why they changed it. Some of the song titles on Spotify are not what they are like on the vinyl.
What?
Huh.
So I don't know.
Oh, he's got it ready.
Yeah. I don't know, but you can see Donuts Outro or Intro.
It does.
And Donuts
Intro.
Outro. And also Light My Fire is called Light It on Spotify. Yeah, there were some weird ones, but yeah, I think Donuts Intro is a better name personally. But yeah,
I agree.
Go ahead.
Other than those are my three favorites. I guess I did have two, I guess, honorable mentions of Geek Down and Time, the Donut to the Heart or of the Heart. Sorry.
Yeah. Cool.
Those are two honorable mentions
For sure.
My only note on either of those was for Time, and I put sexy question mark because of them.
It's definitely the sexiest song on the album for sure.
So
even though it's about him, maybe trying to stop time so that he has more time to live. But yes, it does sound sexy. It's a Jackson 5 sample, so it is.
Okay,
Michael
there's
Jackson's
another
sample.
one. I feel like there was a Jackson 5 sample though.
I think that's the only one. But
Two
I could be
Can
wrong.
Win.
Yeah.
It sounds Jackson 5-ish.
It does
it's
sound
not
like
the Jackson 5.
Little Michael, yeah. Two Can Win. I'll look up what the sample is, and we can circle back.
Okay.
What about you, Cobb?
I'm gonna go with Time, the Donut of the Heart. Two Can Win and Don't Cry as my three.
Yeah.
I think those are all
standard
solid tracks.
That's fair.
Yep. The sample is it's a band called The Silvers. Only One Can Win is the Two Can Win sample, so it's not the Jacksons. But he obviously also does a lot with pitching vocals up and down, so that might have something to do with it too.
It sounded like it to me, but
It does.
also,
It definitely does. It sounds like
Yeah.
It sounds like Michael. I completely understand where you're coming from there. Yeah, for me, I mean, I don't know. My favorite songs have changed over the years. Don't Cry is the easy one for me. I think it's the best beat I've ever heard in my life, and it's probably one of my favorite songs of all time. I love You Love. I love Stop. I love Two Can Win. Time was my first real love on the album. There's a part where he slows the beat down on it's like I think the third beat of the bar, and it's like slow and then just speeds back up again. Like little stuff like that happens all over the album, and I'm obviously not going to talk about it every time, but that's one that really sticks out to me in terms of his like manipulation of time, especially apt given the song title. Yeah, I really love all of it, so it's kind of hard for me to pick a favorite, and also they just changed so much. Also, I love the last song, Welcome to the Show, or Donut's intro. That song samples a song called When I Die, and it's the last song on the show. And, so there's like all this like weird mythological shit going on that makes the album, hold that extra weight. But, it's made by a guy who's grappling with his impending death, and there's a lot.
That's a crazy time to be making music.
Yeah. There's a lot that is on show there. Yeah. What do y'all want to chat about? I'm going to close my blind joke quick and mute my mic, but please go ahead.
I do want to say before you take your headphones off or something, I listened to
it. I'm going to leave them on.
Oh, okay. I listened to it 7.5 times. I didn't say that in my part.
Nice.
So, yeah, I listened to it a good amount of times. Also, there was a good moment there when you were talking, Will. Maestro was spying on your landlady coming home or whatever. Jumped up to the window and was watching
saw that.
It. She like stopped. I don't know what she was doing. I hope they just had like a nice moment.
They most certainly did. That was...
Yeah, that happens all the time, honestly. So,
but yeah, I didn't look up like anything.
Yeah,
which I usually do as well. Like when you give me like an album, I usually want to know something. But I was like, when I saw like the snaps of or like Instagram stories of you like reading like books about the beats, I'm like, I was telling Abby, I was like, me and Trevor are gonna be so fucking out of our league. It's gonna be the most crazy thing.
Yeah, but I mean, that's
like we don't know how to talk about beat samples and chopping stuff up.
I don't know nothing about that.
So like I said, right? There's a lot of mythology about not only this album but Dilla as a man and a force of music. So. There's this book series, it's called 33 1/3, which is a reference to speed of an LP when you're playing on a record table. But it's about, they do like these little mini novellas essentially about an album. They've done stuff about anything you can think of probably. And it's like journalists writing like really long critical essays about the work and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I've had that for years. I've been thumbing back through that today. Bud Light, nice. And there's also a biography of his that just came out called Dilla Time by a guy named Dan Charnas, and I've been reading that for the last month or so. I'm about halfway through, and it's unbelievable. I'm not a nonfiction guy, despite the subject matter. It's not really my thing, but this book is just really, really, really good.
Nice.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just drop, while we are on the topic of the books, a couple notes from...
you could see Pip's eyes down there, by the way. I don't know if he looked down.
He just looked down. Yeah, I see him hanging out. He's
just
there.
His eyes were at the bottom of my frame. He's just staring at me.
So I think one of the coolest things about, or that I learned maybe about the album in recent history, and it's not apocryphal as in like we don't, like it is true, but we don't know if Dilla knew that it was true when he made the song. But there's a sample of a kind of chant, like it's written as non-lexical, which I guess just means like it's non-verbal, like there's no literal words being said. Pip, get on the mic, homie.
Look at that, buddy.
There's no words being said, but it's happening in the background of the song People. And the song that sample is taken from is from a track from a 1974 Hindi movie, and the actual lyrics of that song, when translated to English, tell the story of a woman facing her death, seeking to prove that life does not end with death. So it's like little shit like that is like all over the album. And so obviously it's hard for me to separate kind of the intention of him making this album with the music itself. Which I don't think would change my mind much on what I think about it, but it just is so cool to have all of that stuff in addition.
My notes for People is some nice hand drums.
Oh yeah, great hand drums.
I didn't know what kind they were, so
yeah, it's hand drums is I think appropriate.
What's the track number?
I don't know. I just put the titles. when I was taking
find
notes.
It was 7, and I also put lots of drums as my
Really,
notes.
really
Yeah.
nice
People.
hand drums.
Yeah, I love that song.
I also wrote sounds atmospheric. Mm-hmm. And then I wrote, then it breaks down into the my people, and I did like 8 E's.
Yeah, that one is so good. Yeah, it slows down. That's around the time of the song when there's kind of the chanting going on in the background that I'm talking about. Yeah. What else do you guys want to talk about? I've obviously dominated the conversation like I usually do with my shit, so.
I did write, so for the second track, Working on It, it's the longest track on the album, but it's only like 2.5 minutes long.
A whopping 2.5 minutes. Yeah.
Which is, I liked Working on It. I thought it was pretty good. Working on it, had a great sample.
Yep.
And then it has the second most plays as well, which I found interesting.
Which is interesting to me. I saw that today too. Yeah.
Because none of us put it as a favorite.
No, it's not. I think it's
it feels so random to me. Why is Working on It the most played or second most played?
I'm not sure. I'm really not.
It's a good question, actually. Yeah.
But the samples are from a song that's written from the perspective of a record itself. Oh. So it's like Buy Me, Play Me, Working on It are like the samples, the vocal samples that he's tossing in throughout. There's also one that says Fade Me towards the end, and he kind of manipulates it to make it sound like it's saying Save Me.
Oh, shit. Now I'm sad.
Yeah, dude, it's a really sad album. He does that a lot.
Damn.
There's one, I'll do my best to kind of sprinkle these in as we go instead of just dumping them all at once, but actually I'll just wait until we get to the song in question because I think it'll probably come up. So go ahead, Kyle.
Okay.
I like that I'm the jumping
Trevor,
off point.
Sorry, I thought you were looking down. You were looking down. Go ahead, Trevor.
I've got a little something. It's not any good conversation thing.
It's good, dude.
All conversation is
track
good
3,
conversation.
Waves.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know what he's actually saying, but it sounds like he's saying Big John Rude.
Big John Rude.
Yeah.
Big John Rude.
He's saying, I forget the name of the song that it samples, but it is John. Also, his little brother is named John. And he's saying
Do you think his brother is rude?
No. So it's saying, I think it's saying do it, like over, like a very stretched out do it. So he's saying like, please, John, do it. As in like pursue music or something like that.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say something way darker. I was like, holy shit.
But that's considered to be like the song for his brother or one of the songs his brother.
Okay.
Because he's like literally name dropping him.
That's cool. Track. I'm never not going to hear Big John Rude though.
Big John. It definitely sounds like Big John
You also
Rude.
said you were never going to listen to it again. So.
You're right. But if I ever happen to be over, with Will hanging out.
When Will ties your arms behind your back and plays the
you're going to listen
record.
to it.
It's already playing on the turntable when he walks in. I fucking strap the doors closed.
You club him over the head.
I wake up, Big John.
Yeah. You're tied to the chair as Will's just playing Catan by himself, but in front of you.
Yes. I've somehow stuffed myself into the record cabinet. I'm just sitting there to get the full vibrations of everything.
Maestro's the one playing Catan, not Will.
Hell yeah.
What the hell? I wrote down Light It. Has some really nice gospel sounding. I don't know if it is actually gospel, but it sounds like it is.
I believe it is not.
Damn.
Yeah,
Wrong,
they're
Jacob.
Honestly, it's worth.
Me and Trevor are dumbs. I don't know if you knew this. Anybody listening to this podcast?
There's
just ignore everything we say.
There's a video on YouTube that gathers every sample on the album and kind of plays them back and forth with the actual song from the album, like chronologically, so you can see the source material and then hear it in context of the album, which I did watch earlier today just for some extra bits, but.
It does sound interesting because the video was cool. The beat breakdown, but also it helped that it was only like a minute and a half long.
Yeah, this video is 16 minutes long, so
that might be pushing it. Honestly,
that
might be.
I feel like I thought when you first brought this album too, you had another video we were supposed to watch as well, other than that first one.
No, that should have been the only one.
It was like a music video or something, but
no, he didn't make any music videos for it. There is a video for Donut's intro or Welcome to the Show, but it was made
For Donut's
independently.
outro, it's 16 seconds long.
Yeah, no, it's for the final track, made independently. But I think people in Europe, and then the record company liked it and like paid them for it and made it the official video. It's just like a cop eating donuts, at like a weird little donut shop. Also, forgot to mention this came out on Stone's Throw, the same record label that put out Mad Villainy.
Nice.
So there's a connection there. Also, MF Doom raps over Lightworks at one point in time. I think it's on his album Born Like This.
Oh yeah, what is Lightworks from? Because it sounds like an old like 1950s like commercial spot or radio spot.
Yeah, so there's a company called Bendix, which is what it says in the show. Like Bendix, the Tomorrow People. It was like a commercial for that company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And like all of the majority of that song is from the commercial, the sample from that commercial. And then he just kind of adds drums in the background.
It's cool. It's a very cool.
It is a
vibe.
really cool track.
Yeah, it's so weird. What do you guys think of Airworks, the kind of sister song?
Let me see if I
Air-
wrote
Any
anything
notes?
down.
I wrote Disjointed.
That's good.
Yeah. I can see that.
I got one good opinion in.
All I wrote was
Yay!
all I wrote was oh. E with a bunch of H's and O with a bunch of H's. I don't know if you want to see my
I
notes. You
think
can't
that-
really see it.
Oh, I
see
kind of
it.
see it.
It's
I see
so
it.
I think
That
I was
goes-
starting to lose it on writing notes.
No, I think that is what the song sounds like. If you had to phoneticize it, and also that goes with Disjointed. It is.
I started
it does
doing
kind
that
of-
a lot with these tracks.
Yeah, it veers back and forth between like it's saying air and then it's saying something else.
Like for Stepson of the Clapper, all I wrote was yeah.
yeah, so good.
111, all I wrote was oh, and all right, y'all.
And all right, yeah.
I can't. Yeah, there's so many great little vocal snippets throughout the album. Trevor called it boring. It's crazy.
I did I say boring?
You said songs felt incomplete.
You
and like,
said
there
it
wasn't a
was
lot
such
going
a
on.
drag. You said it was such a drag. You would have rather have done anything else in your life. And that was hard to hear for Will. I think he actually shed a tear.
I think what
I'm
it
not
is-
gonna front. During my last note-taking listen, there were times where I was on my phone reading a webcomic.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm not expecting you to.
But that's
be
like what I was
saint.
saying. This album does great while you're doing something else.
Yeah, I also love listening
Yeah.
to it just by itself, but obviously I'm
Well,
biased.
that, you know? Shit.
Shit. What was I gonna say? I forgot. Okay, whatever. Other notes?
I kind of am.
You're tapped
Out
out.
of
For,
notes.
for Thunder, I have in all caps, ladies and gentlemen, the original.
Yep. Great.
Do I have a note for Thunder?
There's just some great little things, you know.
I wrote repetitive on Thunder.
Nice. Nice. I'm like playing them through as you say that.
Oh, I'm
a
sorry.
short
For
one too,
Gobstopper,
Trevor.
I wrote horns are back, baby, because the horns came back.
Man, they did indeed on that one, huh?
Yeah, I love any track
What's
that has some
the-
nice horns. Honestly,
What about Glazed then?
let
It's
me
the
see.
same insane trumpet loop. It's like
I
1
also
second of a
wrote
trumpet.
repetitive on Glaze.
That is the most
Oh,
repetitive song
yeah,
on
I
the album
wrote
to me.
horns and a xylophone, and then
Yeah.
I wrote sounds like a bunch of people talking over each other in a hallway. And then I wrote sure
At the
it's
end.
strange and like with 18 E's.
Yep.
So
So at the end of that one, the people talking over each other, they're asking each other, "Are you afraid?" And they're saying, "Time is running out." To bring it back to the death theme.
Fucking A, man. I feel so bad now about what I
should.
said.
his
feel
ghost
bad.
is gonna
It's
haunt you, Trevor.
It's a piece.
I
of
didn't know
art.
this guy was dead, and I didn't know he was dying while writing this.
I know, but
Like-
I really wanted to hear a completely neutral take on the album. I felt like if I had said that up front, it inherently colors the experience.
That's true.
because
It does.
You're reacting.
I
the way
probably
you are
would
right
have
now,
given this
Trevor.
at least 1 or 2 points more
And that
if
would've
I
been
had
that's-
known. So
Yeah, that's illegal. You would have been arrested for that.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't say anything, because I did truly just want to hear your actual opinions about the music itself without all of the insane, intense, emotional
Mythos.
baggage that comes with this album.
yeah, I'm not a music person. We've
Yeah,
established-
Trevor, no one is asking you to be a music person.
I know they aren't, but I still feel bad.
I liked the name of the track, Anti-American Graffiti.
Yep, good one.
Good track name.
Yeah,
I didn't write any
I-
other notes other than that on that track.
I wrote a note for it, and I wrote, "It sounds like an announcer at the fair." Like
Yeah.
the guy, the vocals of that guy, it sounds like that old ass speaker that's at like your local fair that's busted to shit, and they're just like, "Come on down into the food area where the
The food
Twinkie
area,
bar."
baby.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. It was like,
Yeah, like a crier.
yeah.
On the song,
But it's like, I feel like the fair speaker has a very distinct sound as a comparison to like a bad school intercom is a different sound, and
Yeah.
another one has a different sound. That like the fair one,
yeah,
I just could imagine the sound of like people screaming on rides, like behind it, like with that guy talking for some
Yeah,
reason.
I get
don't
that.
know.
If you haven't already noticed, he is really good, and I think uses this technique really well. The technique of kind of mangling vocals to say things that he wants them to say, by like either time stretching or kind of chopping little bits of the word up into pieces. But it happens a few times here. He's famous for it in his career elsewhere. There's a song by his group Slum Village called Players, where they're singing Claire, and he like stretches it out and warps it so the chorus is like, it sounds like they're saying players. Horrible rendition of it, but a very good song. Anyway, there's a few times he does that here. Lightworks, so the actual words are light up the skies, but he tweaks it to make it say light up the spliffs, which is great.
Not gonna front. Heard light up the skies.
Fair.
I don't remember them saying spliffs. I feel like I would have remembered them saying that.
Yeah, if you listen to it again with that in mind, maybe you'll hear it.
Maybe.
Because they are saying light up the skies, but he has ways of manipulating the audio to make it maybe sound like something else.
It's like that audio trick thing where it's
Yeah.
like if you think about it, you can hear it one way. If you think about
Yeah.
it saying the other thing, you hear it the other way. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
I
So
hate those, those scare me.
on time, there's like bits saying Dilla over and over throughout the song. Obviously, that's not anything they're saying in the actual Jackson 5 song. At the beginning of Stop, there's a Jadakiss vocal sample where he is actually saying it's that real, but it can be interpreted as is death real, if you listen to it, because he like does a bunch of chops on the dat to make it kind of stretched out and like sound maybe more like death. So again, I think this is, I'm still 16 years later learning new things about this album, even with as much as I've listened to it. It's like so insanely deep and rich as like a cultural text, which sounds insane to say in this format, but yeah, man, it's fucking good. I truly like teared up listening to the end song earlier today.
That's crazy. Like it's cool that you have such an emotional connection, but like,
yeah,
I
it's
don't
just,
get it.
Yeah, no, and that's perfectly.
I don't want
okay.
to sound like an asshole, but I feel
No,
like I need
Trevor,
to
you're not
keep
at
my
all.
opinions out voiced. Like that's the
Yeah,
whole
no.
point of this show.
Yeah, you
It's
don't.
like
sound
that's
an asshole.
wild to me.
Yeah, I know.
That's
It's wild to me that the Gurren Lagann theme song makes you tear up or like makes you hype. So
I get choked up a little bit thinking
Yeah,
about that
exactly.
final battle with everyone in the line. Anyways,
yeah, and I get choked up thinking about my favorite producer making this album as he's dying. It's like
that's fair.
half and
Yeah,
half.
no, we all have different things,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I just think that last song too is just so triumphant. Like High and Bye, I think are the songs that precede it, and they're kind of like you said, Trev. I think they're kind of like more low key and slow, and then all of a sudden,
High's pretty cool. It feels like it's like an old black and white film, like audio from like with the femme fatale kind of going like, I haven't heard that voice in years.
Yeah.
And look, High. It's
yeah,
like,
so good.
That was good.
thanks.
That's actually pretty accurate to the source material too. It's not a femme fatale thing, but it is about a woman who, or a guy who hasn't seen his like ex in a long time. They run across each other in like a bus stop or something like that. But those two songs are pretty low key and maybe a little downbeat, and then the final song comes in. It's just this like insane blast of like vocal melody. And then when you realize that the melody that he's pulling is just the end of the sentence, when I die, and then he's like splicing in like, I want to be the man that you thought I could be, or something like that, is like the line from the song that comes in later in his beat. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's super intense, obviously, and a bit of a downer, but it really does feel like he was just kind of at peace with the situation and then made all these things. Like, Don't Cry is like for his mom, you know, like, don't cry about me being gone. His mom is like the one who took care of him in the hospital for all that time, would like massage his hands as he was trying to make beats because like lupus makes your joints swell up. Or maybe it's TTP, but like his hands would get swollen and like really stiff, and she would like massage his hands so he can continue to make beats and like dig through records and stuff like that. Like, yeah, there's a lot. And obviously, I think this has taken a bit more of a sadder turn than I expected it to. But
why wouldn't you expect it? We're talking about a guy who died making this.
yeah, I guess that's true. To me, it is a sad album, but it's also not. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of it that
it doesn't innately come off as sad.
Yeah.
Like I would not have guessed that.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Like, so you're not wrong in that sense.
Which I think is also the beauty of it.
Yeah.
That you can get so much from it in so many different ways. But yeah. Any any final thoughts, guys? Want to go out on a high note in any way?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. So I'm glad you brought it. I didn't think I would have a ton to say, and I didn't really, but I still had fun talking about it. I still had like fun learning about it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I obviously didn't enjoy it as much as either of you did, but I still am glad to hear about. Like, I love getting backstory for stuff like that, and maybe if I was to re-listen to it, I would like it more. But and just like I'm not probably going to re-listen to it.
Yeah, I don't think you should. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think cool. Good time.
Yeah.
Cool. Good time indeed. All right. We'll leave it at that. Listen to J Dilla, all of his catalog, any of it. Obviously, this is a pretty good starting point, but he's made a ton of stuff that's not sad and is super joyous, and it's just him having a really good time. You can check out Didn't You Know by Erykah Badu, or The Light by Common, or Runnin' by The Far Side. Those are some pretty good starting points for like big hit singles that he made. Once Again by A Tribe Called Quest. There's a huge catalog to go through that can be enjoyed ad nauseum. So cool. Well, both of you, thank you as always for indulging me and letting me talk about some stuff that I love.
Thank you for bringing it.
Yeah, of course. We'll catch y'all soon on the next time with Trevor's pick.
Trevor's big pick.
I think all of us are. I mean, I won't speak for Jacob, but I'm excited about. I know Trevor is, so we'll get to that soon.
Looking forward to it.
Show.
Cool.
It'll be fun.
Peace out,
Stay
guys.
safe.